Welcome to the National Security Hour. Today, my guest is Dr. Limin Yan. We've had her on several times here before, but today we're going to continue our dialogue on China's unrestricted warfare, but this time with a focus on a real-life story, a story you must hear, a story you've probably not heard, okay? As we speak to Dr. Yan about her flight from communist China, risking her life for liberty. Today, we're going to keep this focus on unrestricted warfare, but tied to her personally, okay? Because Dr. Yan tries to continually educate Americans on the evils of the CCP, the Chinese Communist Party, the threat they pose, and the battles she continues here now in America by her posts on X, formerly known as Twitter. This includes discussions on some key pieces of information she's posted and what they mean, a bit more background on them if we get to that. Now, why are we going to discuss this? Because Dr. Yan continually tries to inform Americans about the evils of the CCP, and she has a tremendous following. But sometimes people don't understand what's really going on behind the scenes. This is not just some amorphous social media posts where there's, you do your posts, your likes, you block people, okay? This is a real life scenario in which Dr. Yan has to fight every day to maintain her own life, okay, and her own liberty, because those people are out there on X and other places trying to put forth their lies, their false narratives, and trying to impede her message on the CCP. So it's incredibly important for our listeners to understand that Dr. Yan has risked a lot, including her life, in coming here to America to reveal the truth about COVID-19. Many in our USA take our freedoms for granted. Okay, we live in the most privileged country in the world, but our people take those freedoms for granted. But you must understand, freedom is not free. In her case, Dr. Yan has paid a great price in having to distance herself from her family, her culture, the life she knew, and to include continued threats to her life here in America. So before I introduce Dr. Yan, let me remind our listeners that our discussions are part of an ongoing series where we try to provide a strategic perspective, assessments, analysis, and insights to give the audience a deeper understanding of the importance of unrestricted warfare and how the CCP, the evil CCP, uses ideology, religion, and issues as the ways to fulfill their strategy. So Dr. Yan, let me welcome you and go to our first question here. For what you're willing to share, please give us some insights to our audience into what you've had to sacrifice and what you had to go through to get here to America, just to unveil the truth of what's been going on with COVID, something that I don't think very few people have heard before. Over to you.
Thank you, sir. First, my story is very kind of complicated in this way because they have tried, the other side, Communist China, has tried the best using national power to find me out and disappear me. And the thing is, when I escaped from Hong Kong, that was back to end of April 2020. At that time, I was still the postdoc fellow in the University of Hong Kong. So during my work, I also doing my research investigation on behalf of WHO for COVID-19 origin, because that was signed by my boss, Dr. Liu Peng, as well as the whole team, because the team is WHO reference lab. So it's our responsibility. And that was the secret task. I was warned to be aware and not touch the red line, if not cross the red line. If not, I will be disappeared and no one can help me. However, the thing is, these supervisors, experts, they didn't know. Actually, almost no one around me knows that I have secretly delivered the message, the information I collected from Wuhan, from Beijing, from Guangzhou, from all over China, to the international world through the media for over 3 months. So when CCP finally kind of identified me as a whistleblower in Hong Kong, at that time, they won't silence me definitely. Luckily, I got warning from Mr. Mulder, the host of Mulder Media, who had his exclusive sources inside CCP. So he told me in the middle of April that I need to go to US if I want, because if not, I will be disappeared. And according to his source, that I was already on the target. And we don't know whether I can escape successfully. It was not easy, right? So from the middle April 2020 to the end of April, there were almost 2 weeks. And during these 2 weeks, a lot of very scary things happened, because from that time, at that time, Mulder won't help me, but he is not capable to help me alone. So at that time, he thought there were 2 anti-CCP, claimed anti-CCP non-profitable foundation based in New York, Rule of Law Foundation and Rule of Law Society, established by Miles Guo, a billionaire, claimed he's a dissident at that time. Now he's in jail. And also, not only because of him, it's also because of he made this foundation and put Steve Bannon as a chairman. And for Chinese, we don't know much about Bannon. We thought he is Trump's previous top officer, and he's working on anti-CCP with Miles Guo. That's all we know. Mm-hmm. So when Mulder turned to get help from Guo, and Guo already claims that that foundation used to save dissidents from China or Hong Kong. So it's kind of Guo tried to help me. But turns out later, after over 1 year, we figure out that Guo is CCP's Ministry State Security agent, pretending to be anti-CCP dissident to infiltrate, especially targeting conservative parties, targeting Trump, targeting other conservative Americans, to spread misinformation, to conduct the cognitive warfare against especially conservative parties. So he was packaged as a billionaire. Yeah. And also, at that time, when Guo heard this information, it was so exciting. He did the video call with me, confirmed my identity, because previously, although CCP won't know who I am, Guo didn't know. And when he saw when he know my identity, and also he arranged Bannon talk to me, he also arranged other people from Conservative Party talk to me. Those Americans, they thought what I talk makes them feel I'm credible. So Guo plays a trick here. Actually, now we know, at that time, Guo sold my information to CCP, and that triggered other communist members. So what happened is, during those 2 weeks, Miles Guo pretended he's helping me to go to US, but he asked me to write down what I know about COVID-19 before I leave. He said, US side need to evaluate all the things. And it took me time to write down. On the other hand, CCP knows who I am and confirmed on my identity. And there is another group of people who heard this information from Communist China, who I believe related to my boss in the WHO reference lab, Dr. Malik Paris, and my husband, Dr. Mahen Pereira. So this become more complicated because Malik is international communist from Sri Lanka. And so when they know that, the things changed. On my side, I realized my husband's attitude changed. He heard that I would go to US. I want to persuade him with me. He knows that I exposed some information to Mulder Media, though he doesn't know how much. But he tried to stop me. In the beginning, he has threatened me that you can't go to US. I quote his original word. You can't go to US. Mm-hmm. Whoever help you go to US, I will kill them. We have enough people there. We have enough ways. You will kill me. And he didn't deny or say anything else. He just stared at me at that time. And later, when mouse school confirmed my information, and when Malik knows that my husband, because he worked with Malik like 7 hours, 7 days, 24 hours like that for over 10 years. So his attitude become even more weird. And he tried to bring me to some private clinic for some examination. And that cannot persuade me. He said that's for because he want to have baby. But actually, I checked. The clinical he found is a homosexual clinical for homosexual couples to have babies. So that made me very suspicious, and I refused. And then I get the same time, I get the heart problem. Immediately, I feel very tired, very weak, fatigued, can't breathe well, and even feel I cannot go to work at all. So I have to stay at home for 3 days, and until the 2 days before I go to US. At that time, I didn't know I will go to US. I have no tickets yet. My school hasn't given me. And that was a Monday. Should be 26 April. The morning, my husband received a phone call from Malik. They are talking in Sri Lankan language. I can't understand, but it was a short phone call, and they mentioned my English name, Scarlett. My husband was very nervous. After that, he cooked me breakfast as usual. And that was 2 fried eggs plus some raw potato slice. And he wanted me to finish all of that. And he said he would bring me to the seaside to have fun. I had finished one of the egg because at that time I don't really trust him. And he said he's going to bring me to seaside. He told me it's not a public seaside. It's something very fresh. He just recently found it's remote. And at that time, do you know the background? It's during 2019 Hong Kong pro-democracy protest. There were many anti-CCP people were found dead in the sea, naked or not, and the police, the government all claim they are, that is commit suicide or there's nothing wrong. So seaside was not a good way at that time. And after that, I feel kind of very sleepy. And my husband just tried to persuade me to finish 2 eggs and try to bring me out as soon as possible. I just told him I can't finish, and I fall asleep again and again from morning around 8 to 9 a.m., even until 2 p.m. I cannot keep awake for a while. Every time I wake up, my husband came to watch me, said, finish the egg, and then I will go to bring you to the seaside. You have no problem. You just need to go out.
Wow.
Finally, he saw I didn't take the eggs. He saw it. And I know that definitely there's something wrong with the egg. I should be put drugs. And then at that time, I connected Mr. Luda, and Luda pushed my school to buy me tickets as soon as possible. And I can't finish writing down what I know because I know too much. For the over 3 months from end of December 2019, I keep collecting information every day from my sources in China, from labs, hospital, government. So I can't finish, and then my school saw I can't finish writing down. Then he asked the foundation to purchase me the flight tickets on 28th April. So in short, at that day, I managed to escape and took the flight, although there are so many details in that was really like those kind of movie, very risky, almost get caught. But anyway, luckily, because Monday, the day after I took the eggs, I went back to the office. My colleagues saw I was very pale. They were so scary. They just pushed me to go to see the doctor. They helped me to make the appointment with emergency doctor in Hong Kong U. And the doctor saw me. My heart rate at rest at that time over 130, and they didn't know what happened because I was so healthy. So they want me to do a lot of physical checks the next day. And altogether, these things make him kind of lose vigilance. He thought I'm so sick. That's why on Tuesday, I could manage to escape, avoid his surveillance, because we are kind of working together.
Yeah.
And I took the flight directly, go to Los Angeles, and then I was stopped by the customer once I arrived.
Wow. Well, Dr. Yan, so we're going to go to break right now. This is just an amazingly scary story. Just a real life story that the people here must hear. So thank you. We're going to come back. I have a lot of follow-on questions for this here.